नमस्कार दोस्तों। आज के जीटी लॉग पॉडकास्ट में आप सब लोगों का एक बार फिर से स्वागत है। आज का हमारा टॉपिक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है। जब हम लोग एमएसएमई एंड रियल एस्टेट दोनों के एरिया में बात करने वाले हैं और हमारे साथ में हमारे गेस्ट हैं पंकज जैन जी। सर एक इन्वेस्टर भी हैं एंड फाउंडर ऑफ जैन वेंचर्स हैं। हम उनके बारे में कुछ और इंफॉर्मेशन भी उनसे पूछ लेंगे, बट उसके पहले मैं अपने को पॉडकास्टर ध्रुव जैन के बारे में बता दूं। ये हमारे साथ में को होस्ट भी कर रहे हैं और कंपनी में हमारे डायरेक्टर भी हैं। सो सर, फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट आई थिंक दैट इज आल्सो द रिचुअल कि हम आपको इनवाइट करें फॉर मे बी आई थिंक यू कैन इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ, आपके लॉन्ग मे बी करियर जर्नी के बारे में आप हमें बताएं। आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू स्टार्टेड योर जर्नी विद एलआईसी, नाउ यू आर रनिंग योर ओन वेंचर फंड, तो इट्स अ लॉन्ग जर्नी दैट यू हैव ट्रैवल्ड। बट हमारे दर्शकों को अपने बारे में बताइए कि किस तरह से आपने अपना करियर बिल्ड किया है ऑफ लास्ट मे बी आई थिंक 40 years और सो, प्लीज।
तो सभी लोगों को मेरा सादर जय जिनेंद्र नमस्कार। जैसे अभी आपने बताया उसमें, तो जो मेरी स्टार्टिंग थी वो तो मैंने जो है एक बहुत ही एक लो प्रोफाइल जॉब से करी थी। बट डैट इटसेल्फ इज ए एक कोई भी अगर इस बात को एक समझे कि कोई भी स्टार्टिंग चाहे भले ही लो हो, बट दैट इज़ नॉट योर डेस्टिनेशन। योर डेस्टिनेशन इज़ नॉट डिफाइंड बाय योर स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट।
वेरी नाइस।
तो मेरे लिए भी जो है एक थोड़ा सा एक काफ़ी एक चीज़ को जब मैंने डिसाइड करा, तो मैं आज भी इस चीज़ के ऊपर बिलीव करता हूँ कि योर फर्स्ट स्टेप इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। इवन इफ़ यू आर एबल टू टेक ए बेबी स्टेप, so then you can travel without any limitation and you can go anywhere, but your first step is very important. So जहाँ तक मेरी प्रोफेशनल बैकग्राउंड का है, मैं कॉस्ट एंड मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटेंट, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, आई एम कैलकाटा का एलमनस हूँ मैं, सर्टिफाइड इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर हूँ। सो आई एम रेगुलरली हैव थ्रस्ट टू लर्न, because for me learning is an ongoing process, open process, and learning is something which you learn every moment, every day. And source of learning can be multiple. At this point of time, I'm learning from you guys and from my children, from any one to whom I interact. So again, the source of learning is also multiple, and it is up to you how you take the things, how you take the learnings. So after working and starting from my low profile job, so I immediately when started my studies in professional, as I mentioned with you. Then later on, gradually I keep on improvising and growing my career from assistant to manager, then CFO, then CEO, then director, vice president, and then ultimately at one point of time I decided that to make a true potential of yourself, your decision making is very important, because when you work for someone else, so it's not like that you also contribute in many ways. But when you work for your own own self, so you can truly harness the your true potential. So that is the reason of starting of my own venture, this JAIN Ventures. So now we are focusing on two critical areas, MSME and real estate. And I'm very fortunate that I am one of the exceptional professional which has the deep exposure in both areas. So either you find one has the exposure in MSMEs or real estate. But I am one of the very fortunate professional. I consider myself that मुझे दोनों एरियाज में काफ़ी डीपली काम करने का मौका मिला. And why I choose to keep this both areas in my target to grow and to focus on. Because if you see that the moment we talk about India's as a to transform Bharat into the Viksit Bharat and taking our economy 10 times higher size which we are having today, MSME and real estate sectors are highly important. So MSME, if you just would like to share few figures that will give the complete snapshot. So MSME per se are employing more than 20 crore persons in directly under MSMEs. Number one, 30% GDP contribution MSMEs are making. 40% contribution they are making to exports. 45% contribution almost they are making in the manufacturing sectors. So now these four figures are self-explanatory that how the MSMEs are contributing to our GDP. Now on the other hand, real estate, it also have the same kind of story. Directly, indirectly, directly it is almost 8%. But if you take the indirect contribution in real estate, it is coming somewhere 45 to 50% contribution in our GDP through ancillary, through other services, through other products which real estate take into account to deliver their services. So if you this 50% almost and 30%, 80%, if you just can reduce 10% for common contribution, because some contribution I also counting in real estate, so it will come around 70%. Now you just can believe that 2/3 of your GDP is consisting of these two sectors, because after this MSME and real estate, only your large scale sector is remaining, some large scale industry and other services. So 2/3 contribution is coming from these sectors. So purposely I have chosen that why not to contribute in the growth story of our country. So as a professional.
वेरी नाइस, थैंक यू सो मच सर। सो ध्रुव सर ने 2 बुक्स भी लिखी हैं। एक बुक है जो रियल एस्टेट में है, व्हाट यू डोंट नो अबाउट रेरा कॉस्ट यू मिलियंस, दैट इज वन बुक ऑन द रियल एस्टेट। द सेकंड ऑन द MSMEs टू MNC। सो दोनों ही सेक्टर में आपने ना केवल काम किया, बट यू आल्सो हैव डॉक्यूमेंटेड योर नो हाउ एंड एक्सपीरियंस। सो इट्स अ इनक्रेडिबल वर्क दैट यू आर डूइंग सर। सो मुझे लगता है कि हम इस पॉडकास्ट में 2 तरीके से मुझे लगता है 2 स्टेप्स में हम लोग इसको कोशिश करते हैं। द फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट इज दैट द ओवरऑल डिस्कशन इज सो इनफॉर्मल। हम चाहते हैं कि हम बिल्कुल फ्री फ्लो में डिस्कशन करें। और सेकंड है कि कुछ पर्सपेक्टिव्स पे डिस्कशन करते हैं, ताकि एट द एंड ऑफ अ डिस्कशन मे बी पर्सपेक्टिव कैन ब्रिंग सम आउटकम फॉर द डिस्कशन। तो उससे लोगों को, जो हमारे ऑडियंस है, उनको भी एक कंक्लूजन, वो भी मिलता है। जी, की टेक अवे। तो जैसे 2 पर्सपेक्टिव हमें क्लियर हैं, एक MSME एरिया है या इंडस्ट्री एरिया है, और दूसरा है रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर। दोनों में ही किस हिसाब से हम लोग फाइनेंसिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, इनोवेशन या इनोवेटिव फाइनेंसिंग की बात करेंगे। तो दैट इज मे बी आई थिंक द 2 एरिया। बट हम लोग अपना पर्सपेक्टिव स्टार्ट करने के पहले मैं बिल्कुल आपसे लेमैन की तरह अगर मैं पूछूं कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर सपोज टू इन्वेस्ट, लेट्स से 1 करोड़ रुपए आपको इन्वेस्ट करना हो MSME में और रियल एस्टेट में, तो which sector can give you better returns?
No, actually, both sectors are very important, because the thumb rule of any investment is the diversification. So you ask anyone, so I think any even layman say, don't put your all eggs in one basket. So from that perspective, your diversification is key. So now what is happening, that even in the real estate, which was not earlier, so now you are getting the small proportion of the investment. So for example, recently you got a opportunity to invest in a asset which has the value more than 100 CR. So practically earlier it was not available, this kind of venue, but by the introduction of the SM REIT, you can invest as low as 10 lakhs. That is a minimum share amount. So if you ask me that how I will invest, so definitely I will invest in both. I will invest in MSME and startup also. I will invest in real estate also, because yes, earlier this avenue was not available. So even if you ask me 1 crore, even I cannot be able to invest 1 crore in real estate, because real estate cost is very high. But now, by virtue of this evolving landscape of the investment, now you are getting the investment avenues to have small ticket size through this kind of mechanism. This is a purely SEBI regulated this mechanism. So one need not to worry that this is something which is out of the blue, and what will be the impact of the investment, because this investment is listed. Liquidity is also there. So as an investor, I will invest in both, in MSME as well as in real estate, because both are offering a good rate of return in balance. So for example, if you take today for last 1 month track record, So my stock market, my other investment can give me a different kind of return. But by diversifying in real estate, that will give me different. Even I will invest in gold. You have now asked me the option. You have given me 2 options, but I am now giving more option. So as an investor, I will invest in startup, MSMEs, real estate. I will invest in gold. I will invest in ETF. So I will try to keep my investment as much diversified as possible. That is the crux of investment philosophy.
I think there is one more area where you are investing every day, which is knowledge and learning, which is giving you the best returns.
Absolutely. But he asked in a monetary term. that is very difficult to quantify. He has given a budget of 1 crore only.
You can increase your budget on that.
इसमें सर you mentioned a point, you mentioned about SM REIT. I think for the benefit of the viewers, हम चाहेंगे आप एक बार ये SM REIT के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए कि ये कैसे चलता है और लोग इसमें कैसे participate कर सकते हैं.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, because earlier it was not possible to invest in high value assets, because you need to buy an asset upfront to be a owner. And although some platforms were offering fractional ownership kind of thing, but that was not regulated. So even some players were working in this platform and those were not regulated. Now SEBI has come with SM REIT regulations in March 24 last year. So now through that particular regulation, now minimum ticket size they have made 10 lakhs. But point is, asset size is, for example, 50 crore, 100 crore. Practically you cannot invest on a standalone basis. But through SM REIT model, you can invest as low as 10 crore. So you can invest 10 crore, 20 crore, keeping on your investment amount, your appetite, you can invest. Now, the best part of this, that you have the complete liquidity, because all SM REIT securities are listed on stock exchange. So you can liquidate also.
So you can trade them like stocks.
Like stocks. So now real estate is now becoming a tradable asset. So earlier this kind of scenario was not there. And in times to come, as per ICRA, we are having close to 600, 700 million square feet area, which is REITable. So the moment this particular model will evolve over a period of time, maybe 4 years, 5 years. So you will see it on your table, you will have 100 numbers of good quality assets where you can invest. And when this model will mature, the SEBI will also reduce the ticket size from 10 lakh to say 5 lakhs or 1 lakh. But as of now, they have purposely kept for 10 lakhs so that some serious investor should come who can understand this.
तो इसमें जो underlying value है इसकी, जो भी आपकी ownership है, that is basically pegged to the value of the asset, market value of the asset. तो जब market value asset का escalate होता है, आपकी ownership की जो value है उसमें SM REIT में, that also escalates.
So you have 2 kind of returns under this model. One is the regular return, income-based return. So whatever income is being generated by asset, so that is distributed to you. So now last year has been fantastic year from a REIT perspective, because in the history, last 11 years of history of REIT, because SM REIT is something different. REIT were already in place for last 11 years or so. Incidentally, that model has not matured to that level that it would have been. But yes, 4 or 5 REITs are there in our country. So they have distributed maximum dividend last year. So first, this share of your return is by way of the income which asset generates. Now second return is the appreciation in the value of the asset. So whenever that asset is divested, so whatever return will come by way of the appreciation, so that return is also distributed to the unit holders. So 2-way return you will have.
So it's more like a share, जहाँ पे एक तो आपके पास उसकी जो dividend है, शेयर पे एनुअल आपको जो कंपनी डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करती है, एक डिविडेंड मिलता है, और एक शेयर जो सेल करते हैं उसकी जो एप्रिसिएशन है दैट यू रियलाइज. सिमिलर एनालॉजी. सो इसमें सर ओवर द लास्ट लेट अस से 11 years you mentioned REIT has been in existence. So typically what are the returns, annual returns that people have seen over the years, and what are the expected returns that you see going forward in the SM REIT sector for the investors?
So 7 to 9% has been typical returns considering the different type of portfolios being held by REITs. So that has been the normal return which our earlier REIT have been seen. So now the similar kind of return, but yes, 1 and 2% notch higher, because now the real estate is giving a higher return and higher income. So we are expecting typically 9% return you can expect from retail assets on the ongoing basis.
वेरी नाइस। तो इसमें आई हैव वन मोर फॉलोअप क्वेश्चन। जैसे इसमें यूजर अवेयरनेस अगर हम बात करें, सो नॉट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर अवेयर अबाउट इवन रीट कॉन्सेप्ट। हम लोग बात करते हैं ये 11 साल पुराना कॉन्सेप्ट है, एंड देन एसएम रीट हैज कम इन मार्च 24। बट मुझे लगता है कि जो अवेयरनेस है मार्केट में या नॉलेज है लोगों को कि वो इस तरह के एसेट क्लास में इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं, दैट इज स्टिल रिलेटिवली लो। तो व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द स्टेप्स आपको लगता है जो लिए जा सकते हैं जिससे इस तरह की इन्वेस्टमेंट की अवेयरनेस को बढ़ाया जा सके एटलीस्ट?
So one step SEBI has already taken, because they have reduced the ticket size. In normal REIT, ticket size is 500 CR. Minimum 500 asset size you need to qualify for a REIT, and your regulatory norms are also more stringent in terms of REIT, because that bigger assets are coming under REIT portfolio. But so they have purposely reduced the size of asset from 500 CR to 50 CR for SM REIT to make a more retail investor engage in this process. Because earlier, although, and that is an interesting story, even today, you can invest 10,000, as low as 10,000 in REIT. For SM REIT, you need to invest minimum 10 lakh. But for REIT, you can invest as low as 10,000. So, but what is the point? The point is that there are more assets which are being qualified by reducing this size. And number two, lot of players are coming, which are coming to monetize their assets. So by that way, if you have number of options more, so then definitely, despite the size of investment is more in terms of SM REIT, but if SM REIT will give you a better return in terms of ongoing basis, better quality of asset, so naturally that a retail investor will invest in SM REIT.
इसमें सर एक और जैसे इस तरह के क्वेश्चन है कि मतलब रिटेल इन्वेस्टर आप ने नाम लिया, बट जो लिस्ट करा सकते हैं, लेट से आई हैव अ रिजॉर्ट, कॉस्ट लेट से 100 करोड़ की है या 100 कीज का रिजॉर्ट है मान लीजिए, तो इसका मतलब है कि इट इज एलिजिबल टू लिस्ट फॉर द एसएम रीट एज ए लिस्टेड रीट की तरह?
Yeah, so the only condition is that your asset should have income earning. If your asset has completed and it is regularly earning income, then you can list your
तो
asset.
रिजॉर्ट विच इज अप एंड रनिंग, 100 कीज रिजॉर्ट है, वो उसको हम एसएम रीट की तरह उसको लिस्ट करा सकते हैं, राइट?
As not only resort, your warehouse, your data center,
Anything.
even your branded residences, because now the concept of branded residence is evolving fast. So if you are having branded residence and you have good regular income from those.
So कोई अगर 100 करोड़ का एक अपार्टमेंट बिक रहा है मान लीजिए, तो वो अप एंड रनिंग है, इट generates the revenue with respect to the rental yield, it can also be listed?
Yeah, if it is having the regular income and you see that investor can perceive that, because now the example you have quoted has little technical kind of problem, because if only it is a one asset of in the category of residence to that amount, your rate of investment, return on investment may not be attractive to the investor, because for investor to be attractive, it may come to 7 to 9% at least. Only then retail investor will invest. So if you have the proper mix, you have some residence assets, you have some residential asset, commercial asset, other asset, and have some good income earning ratio, then it can be. So it's not like that. You can come with your technically, legally, if you have 100 crore residence, it is a income earning asset, yes, you can bring REIT.
Technically ठीक है,
Technically ठीक, but practically, if you ask me, I will not subscribe.
Buyers
because because return will not be high, because
rental yield is
typically
2%,
3%, 4% return will not be high.
Got it. तो सर इसी में जैसे हम लोग रियल एस्टेट की बात करने लगे हैं, तो इसमें जैसे कुछ कंपोनेंट और हम चाहते हैं कि आप क्लैरिफाई करें, जैसे इंसॉल्वेंसी कंपोनेंट है या रेरा का रोल क्या है, तो मतलब जैसे इंसॉल्वेंसी के बहुत सारे केसेस वी हैव रिसेंटली सीन इन दिल्ली एनसीआर, तो उस तरह के केसेस में व्हाट आर द वे आउट? एक तो इंसॉल्वेंसी सिचुएशन आती कैसे है, दैट इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, और उसके लिए क्या वे आउट रहता है फॉर द डेवलपर और फॉर द गवर्नमेंट?
So you started two very big questions, RERA and insolvency. So we should
रेरा
start with.
हटा देते हैं अभी, रेरा
अच्छा,
बाद में
RERA
करते
बाद
हैं।
में करते हैं. Okay. So now in terms of real estate, because this question, as far as real estate is concerned, your other companies are concerned, non-real estate. So there are two different kind of situations. So real estate has two kind of situations, and non-real estate have only one situation. One situation is common in both. So for example, if you default your payment to your lender, so you're come into the insolvency radar.
एज ए डेवलपर अगर मैं डिफॉल्ट कर
Maybe real estate, might be your non-real estate. Both it is common. But one more thing is applicable in terms of real estate. So if you are not able to deliver your project within time, so your unit holders have the option that if they are having 10% of their sale value or 100, whichever is less, so they can file a insolvency against you. So in that particular case, practically you are solvent. You have not defaulted to any lender. But due to this provision in terms of real estate, insolvency is triggered.
तो अगर 100 करोड़ रुपए का प्रोजेक्ट है और जो बायर हैं पुट टुगेदर अगर वो 10% मतलब 10 करोड़ रुपए के आसपास में सब मिला करके हो रहे हैं तो दे कैन फाइल द केस अगेंस्ट
No, if 10 crores is a total value, then 1 crore is a value of the buyers and then number. So either they should qualify 100 numbers or 10% of the sale value,
अच्छा
whichever is less.
whichever is less
Less, yeah. So if the 100 number is there, it can be there. And if 10% of value is there, then
so they have to form a society or organization and they file it.
no, they can file a cumulative case as a as a group. There is no need to file some separate entity, some association. So they can file a cumulative case as a buyer.
ओके वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग और फाइल करके अगर इंसॉल्वेंसी केस बनता है तो द डेवलपर हैज टू हैंड ओवर द प्रॉपर्टी टू दोज पीपल व्हाट इज द जनरल वे आउट
No, the moment, so there is a process ki once insolvency application is accepted, public announcement is made. Okay, now insolvency has been officially started. It is accepted by NCLT. So they invite the various, creditors, maybe buyers, maybe lenders, maybe vendors, maybe suppliers, maybe employees, each and every your creditors who are having liability on the company. So they are invited to file their claim. So that is a stage one. So once they have their all claim in place, then to start this process, NCLT also appoint insolvency professional who look after all this process. So once this process is completed, the insolvency professional evaluates the claim, vis-a-vis claims filed by the various persons, vis-a-vis records available with the company. So he admit the claim, and it is an ongoing process here and there because a lot of things are happened practically. So once this process is completed, then insolvency professional invites a application for resolution applicants. So means entity, some persons who can resolve this particular problem, because the intention of the law is to make insolvent company as a resolution through resolution process solvable. So their purpose is not like that it is a now insolvency, they are now we liquidate the company, but that is a last resort. The intention of law is how through this process and mechanism you can again make the insolvent company solvent. So now they invite some other party. Now interesting part is that the question you asked, the moment this process is triggered, all power of directors, all powers of the management, all powers of the finance, means all financial powers come, all embargo come on this part. All these powers are transferred to the IP. So the moment this insolvency started, board of director, management, they do not have any kind of managerial power, operational power, or financial power. Even bank are instructed to not honor any kind of payment on behalf of erstwhile management or directors or other person. all powers are automatically transferred or vested to the insolvency professional. So going forward, he becomes the virtual owner of the company or particular project. So first of all, claims are invited. Then secondly, resolution applicant is invited to, and there is a competitive bidding kind of thing. Then committee of creditors are formed, and they evaluate the different proposals. They pass the proposal. Then proposal goes to NCLT. They invite the again objections from third parties, from various stakeholders, and once NCLT approves that particular plan, then that plan is implemented, and it is endeavored that whatever this problem was there in a company, that should be resolved.
अब कमिंग टू सर रेरा पार्ट, बिकॉज जनरली जैसे एनसीएलटी या इस तरह का जो इशू होता है इंसॉल्वेंसी का, जैसे यू मेंशन कि अगर डिले हो रहा है और वो डिले मतलब अनरेगुलराइज्ड है, आपने 5 साल का कमिटमेंट किया, 10 साल ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं, तो देन द बायर सर्टेनली विल बी इन द रेस्टलेसनेस कंडीशन में आ जाएंगे. तो रेरा का जो रोल है वो कितना मतलब इम्पैक्टफुल है या मे बी पावरफुल है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू मेकिंग द पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट मे बी सक्सेसफुल. काफ़ी कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट इन जनरल रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में रेरा के होने से दिखती है, बट व्हाट इज द करंट सिनेरियो और द एक्चुअल सिनेरियो इन योर व्यू?
देखिए, रेरा में जो रियल एस्टेट प्रोजेक्ट्स जो रजिस्टर्ड हैं, दे आर प्राइमरी इनटू दी टू कैटेगरीज. First category is the ongoing projects, because RERA come into effect on 1st May 2017.
Yes.
So at that point of time, there were many projects. There were many legacy projects as well, which come under the ongoing projects. Going forward, after 1st May 2017, all projects have been registered under the category of the new projects. So you will be glad to know whatever new projects are considered means registered in RERA. I don't think that any project is facing a insolvency problem at all. No project.
पहले के प्रोजेक्ट्स होंगे.
So all these projects are projects which are having any kind of exposure prior coming to the RERA in picture, although they are registered also. So the people is confused. क्या रे तो RERA ने क्या करा? भाई RERA ने ये करा कि जो new projects registered है, you can see the ratio. Still, I am a RERA practitioner, insolvency practitioner. I am not able to find out any project to my memory which is a new project registered in RERA and come into the insolvency status. Might be, I am not saying, exception may be there, but very minuscule. So the major impact of RERA has been to create a financial discipline, because RERA has the cash flow mechanism. You have to draw money as per the money spent on the project, because the major problem in real estate comes due to diversion of funds in various projects.
Correct, sir.
That was the crux of the problem. So RERA has put embargo through this cash flow mechanism, and the result is very, very positive that new projects are not coming under the insolvency status.
I think your point is absolutely correct, sir, कि जो ongoing projects हैं और उन्होंने रेरा में अप्लाई भी किया है, तो क्या है कि जो जनरल जो लोग बायर हैं या लोगों को लगता है कि सब रेरा में तो सभी हैं रजिस्टर्ड, उनको तो अंदाजा नहीं है कि ऑनगोइंग प्रोजेक्ट भी रजिस्टर्ड हैं और न्यू प्रोजेक्ट भी रजिस्टर्ड हैं. तो शायद वो रेरा की जो प्रोजेक्ट्स जो ऑनगोइंग थे और बीच में वो रजिस्टर हुए हैं, एंड देन व्हेन दे गेट डिफॉल्ट, तो मुझे लगता है शायद वो reputation risk जो है उन्हीं सब चीजों का ज्यादा
Absolutely.
बढ़ जाता है.
Because it was a thought process at that point time also that why to register ongoing projects in RERA. So I think, but anyhow, because the other part of the story is that there are many ongoing projects also, that at least number of projects has been reduced to go into the insolvency by the intervention of the RERA. Because RERA has made some own solution also. For example, UP RERA, because maximum projects on pan India basis under legacy category belong to the Delhi NCR, and primarily to the our Noida, Ghaziabad, and this Greater Noida. In these area main legacy project we have. So UP RERA has also given some very novel kind of solution under Section 8. So where they have made a mechanism that let's join hand by buyers and promoter, and just make a new planning that how they can make a resolution of the stuck projects. And RERA now took the seat of the monitoring agency, and they started to evolve this model that how they can revive the projects. So although to some extent they were successful and some projects were delivered also, but again due to this insolvency, even coming to this mechanism, some buyers went into the insolvency mode. And since IBC is a overriding law on RERA, so naturally RERA cannot do much. So that things also.
What is IBC, sir?
Insolvency and bankruptcy insolvency.
Okay. Very nice. Coming back to financing again. So real estate sector में सर financing में थोड़ा सा और थोड़ा explain करिए. You have mentioned REIT, you also have mentioned SM REIT. और क्या तरीके हैं रियल एस्टेट में फाइनेंसिंग को अवेल कराने के? Let's say you have a land, 100-acre land, and then you want to build a resort housing. उस लैंड पे let's say you want to have the construction of let's say these 100 or 200 resort houses. उसके लिए let's say 100 crore rupees की requirement है. What are the maybe I think different options or innovative financing options which are available to raise that fund?
So as far as innovative option, because SM REIT is definitely a different category because it is applicable on the completed assets. But you are talking about the assets which are under construction or which are greenfield projects. So for me, I think two options are very, very novel and which are now revolutionizing the way our real estate look for the funding. Because in our real estate, land financing is a key. Because under RBI regulation, no bank, no NBFC, no financial institution make a funding of your land part. Because land part you need to fund your own. And now since the land part is also forming a good part of your project cost, because earlier it was not, but now it is forming good part because land price are growing much faster than your construction cost. So in your total project cost matrix, now land cost is making a higher chunk of component. So now what you have to do, because if you want to grow, you need financing of your land. So to my mind, two very good options which are evolving and coming to our country. First is the SME IPO. So for example, if you are a developer and you have a good track record of completing your projects, now you want to initiate a new project and you need to finance those projects. So that is a wonderful medium. You can go to the public through SMA route and you can raise the money, because through this route there is no embargo to fund your land. The only thing is that you have to disclose properly in your prospectus to your prospective investor. This is the amount which you are raising from public and this is the end use. Because as of now, the general corporate purpose, the SEBI has also reduced from 25 to 15%. So 85% you have to clearly define what will be the end use of funds. But point is that land is not a prohibited. So you can make a good use of this part. Okay, this part I am using to fund my land. So SME IPO route, to my mind, because as of now, yes, some real estate developers have taken this route, but the quantum of size of our industry, quantum and of our industry, real estate industry, a lot of real estate developers I think are not very well aware of or not prepared. So if you deal with, because it is a I personally feel that this is a question of more of the entrepreneurial mindset.
हाँ बिल्कुल उसी लिए.
If you want to come under the entrepreneurial mindset, so you first of all you have to come from Lala, I'm sorry to say, Lala kind of mindset to the entrepreneurial mindset. So the moment you come into the entrepreneurial mindset, the options are plenty. So first option is that SME IPO. If you have track record and want to expand your business in real estate, so through SME route, SME IPO route, you can fund your project, including your land. The other part is the AIF, Alternate Investment Fund. Now in India, this industry is also growing very fast, alternate investment funds. So again, there is no restriction to fund land on part of alternate investment fund. I have seen that lot of developers have taken this route, and since they have the good track record, so alternate investment fund have fund their land part in a very initial stage. So now that is also a very win-win situation, that you can also take advantage of the alternate investment funding, and you can fund your invest at the initial part. And once you got your initial funding, you have the n number of ways to fund more.
तो ये collateral based funding हो गई है?
No, alternate investment, yes, as far as alternate investment funding is concerned, it is definitely collateral based funding, because whatever land they will fund, they will have the mortgage on that part. But as far as this SME IPO is concerned, it is a collateral free funding. There is a no mortgage, no collateral.
Very nice.
So what about sir some of the venture backed funding options? जैसे आपने IPO के बारे में बताया. That is one way I understand you are diluting some part of the equity of the company to raise money from the public. So एक बहुत ही common investment model जो हम लोग आजकल बहुत देखते भी हैं और चलता भी है, which is basically investment by certain venture firms or private equity firms into real estate. So इस स्पेस में आपको लगता है कि कुछ मूवमेंट है इंडिया में या ट्रैक्शन है इंडिया में? Are there funds which are investing into real estate as far as venture capital is concerned, or
Yeah, so fortunately again I was very lucky to work in a company, and that is my earlier group, Logis Group, Noida based group. So that was having the maximum private equity player. So we were having 5 assets under this private equity funding. So this ICCI Pro was there, Alpha Capital was there, Apollo Global was there. So yes, although such kind of options are not very high in terms of real estate, but yes, some kind of mezzanine funding are there. So for example, ICCI Pro Fund, ICCI Opportunity Fund, so they have provided us the mezzanine funding, so where they have taken certain part in equity, and other part was in the debt funding, where we were requiring to serve their interests on regular basis, because they were more keen to make a structure where they can get the regular money, because in real estate your cash inflow is very important. Because if a venture capital give you fund and their cycle of return, taking return their money is longer, then there is risk for them. So there is a need of understanding and structuring. So pure equity funding, yes, as far as real estate projects are concerned, it is not practical. But if you go to the mezzanine kind of funding, where you can have both kind of control, you have certain kind of control in your equity, and then your operational control by way of debt funding, where regular interest payout can be assured.
Understood. So very interesting. So it's more like a hybrid
kind
combination of
yes,
debt and
yes. So
equity.
in terms of real estate, this kind of funding is more prevalent.
Very interesting, sir. तो मतलब सर, आई एम नाउ कमिंग बैक टू MSME. आपने बोला कि MSMEs, तो MSMEs में सर वी अंडरस्टूड कि आपका एक बहुत एक्सटेंसिव एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, स्पेशली इन टर्म्स ऑफ फाइनेंसिंग, एंड देयर इज अ बुक दैट यू पब्लिश्ड व्हिच टॉक्स अबाउट MSME टू MNC फ्रेमवर्क, है ना? सो देयर इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ टेकिंग एन MSME टू एन MNC लेवल. तो उसके बारे में सर थोड़ा सा बताइए कि व्हाट इज MSME टू MNC कॉन्सेप्ट.
So actually, what motivated me to have this kind of framework, because by virtue of my experience, maybe as a corporate professional or as a consultant, what I observed that things are changing very fast in business scenario and globally. Means you never knows that your neighbor is not purchasing from you. Your neighbor is purchasing को कहते हैं ना कि 7 समुंदर पार से जो है वो कोई चीज़ मंगा रहा है और आपसे खरीद नहीं रहा इसमें. So now this is unbelievable. So why it is happening? Because you have to be competitive not on your country basis but on global basis. So if you're not competitive in your area on global basis, you're finished. So I very on early days very clearly understood this concept that if you have to create a sustainable business institution, organization, you have to be a global player. And if you are not a global player, your shelf life will be maybe 5 years, 10 years, but not longer for that. So then I evolved based on my experiences that how we can have some kind of framework for our MSMEs, because And I want to share one very interesting story of the Munjal Group also, because that is a very fascinating story in corporate sector. That at one point of time, Munjals were having only capability of manufacturing cycles. I think you are aware of. And in cycle also, there were not a leader in our country, because Atlas was a leader in our country, and even in their area, they were not a leader. And they were having many MSME companies which were they are having to manufacturing their various cycle units. So one very fine day, I got some insight that through some business mate from their family person, that Bauji came on the dinner table, and he told that, yeah, whatever these MSME companies are there, I think at that point of time 15-20 companies he shared. So let's merge all these companies and make a one entity, one corporate entity, big entity we will make, and we'll do the business. So everyone in the family was shocked and surprised what he was talking about. Because the moment we will go beyond your limit, you will lose the MSME benefit. And now certain members even apprehended कि बाबूजी वो टैक्स वाला आपके पीछे पड़ जाएगा, अभी तो टैक्स वाले को पता ही नहीं है आपके कि कितना आपका जो है वो रिटर्न जाता है, because there are multiple units. But he was very clear in our thought कि no, I have to be a global player. I don't want to remain as a national player, as an MSME. I want to be a global player. So they first of all changed their mindset. We want to be a global player. They merged all their MSME company under one umbrella, and that is the history. Because he made a joint venture from one of the best two-wheeler manufacturer of the world, Honda. So can you believe that Honda would come for joint venture with some MSME companies?
Which is into making cycles.
Yeah.
And which will be making cycles. So now this particular story is a key that if you have the right kind of mindset and if you apply that, now through collaboration, you can have the capital, you can beat the competition, you can have the customer. No one can ever thought that a hero cycle who is making cycles only can manufacture two-wheelers and this motorcycle. And after 25 years, now when they parted their agreement, because their agreement was originally for 25 years. So after completing 25 years term, they parted amicably. So again, now it's not like that after parting the Honda, the hero is ended. They are also having a good market share.
Very interesting.
So point is that for me, MSMEs, if MSME want to grow, it is just a question of your mindset that makes a difference. So if you have a right kind of mindset, so as I shared just a very practical story of our own group, so you can grow.
सर माइंडसेट तो ठीक है, मुझे लगता है कि दैट हैज टू बी ऑलवेज एस्पिरेशनल, बट इन जनरल व्हेन यू लुक एट द मे बी द ओवरऑल डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ द एमएसएमईज अक्रॉस इंडिया, बहुत सारे लोग इन जनरल स्ट्रगल ही कर रहे हैं, और स्ट्रगल इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि दे आर स्मॉलर और उनके जो इश्यूज हैं वो रोज़मर्रा वाले इश्यूज ही रहते हैं. एंड व्हेन दे लुक एट मे बी आई थिंक अपस्केलिंग their maybe production line, or they want to change their maybe technology particularly, तो वहाँ पे उनके पास जो फाइनेंस या फंड जनरेट करने की जो एबिलिटी है या स्किल है या कह लीजिए कि जो कैपेसिटी है वो ज़्यादातर केसेस में नहीं रहती है. तो मतलब एक तो है कि कोलेटरल बेस्ड नहीं चाहते हैं क्योंकि उनके पास ज़्यादा कोलेटरल होता भी नहीं है. तो उस तरह के केसेस में एमएसएमईज के लिए क्या-क्या प्रोविजंस हैं गवर्नमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से? इनोवेटिव फंडिंग क्या है? सपोर्ट क्या है? या बैंक लेंडिंग किस तरीके से करती है? देयर आर लॉट ऑफ चैलेंजेस. We have seen lot of challenges in our own journey, but maybe I think we'll be happy to listen you as well.
No, this as far as these MSMEs are concerned, the collateral-free funding, I think you are aware of CDD MSME scheme. So earlier this limit was 5 CR. So now in this budget, this limit has been increased to 10 CR.
10 CR.
So first of all, you have this collateral-free credit lines. That is the option. The only thing is that you have to fulfill the eligibility. So that you have to fulfill. So it's not like that options are not here. Options are here, but you need to fulfill that eligibility because this is not a free money.
और eligibility is
Because
like
it's a collateral free
क्या
money.
main component क्या होते हैं eligibility के सर?
Eligibility means your turnover. What is your turnover? Because if you are borrowing money, the crux of any funding, you leave apart your collateral because no banker is interested in exercising the collateral. Because since I have been day in day are involved, so I discuss this kind of thing कि boss यार आपके पास तो 200 रुपये का कोलेट्रल दे रहा हूँ, मुझे 50 रुपये चाहिए. No, this is seriously refuse the case. They look for the cash flow, how you can repay back. So the question is the eligibility is. It is not a question that you are taking money for your technology or for your upgradation or for a skill. Money is available. So first of all, you have to show your capacity, how you can generate the money to repay your loan or your credit back. So that is a thumb rule, very thumb rule. So in this particular criteria, the quantum of your repayment capacity you prove, the quantum of loan you will get. As simple as you get. No second parameter. वो बाकी पैरामीटर किताबें साहब ये ITR दे दीजिए, बैलेंस शीट दे दीजिए, but this is the crux. Your repaying capacity directly related to the quantum of the loan. And I'm sure that if your repaying capacity is not there, even you as a lender investor will not give money.
Fair point.
And we are taking the collateral free money. No collateral attached.
So I'm saying, so apart from this CGT SME scheme, जहाँ पे आपने अभी बताया कि 10 करोड़ तक collateral free lending होती है MSMEs के लिए, what are some of the other ways in which these MSMEs can access money from the market?
So one other model is the traces, where government has made a mechanism to give a bill discounting to MSME companies. So whatever their money is stuck in debtors. So for example, for my 60 days or 90 days, my few crores are involved or engaged in my working capital. So at least I can get that money very fast. So I can make a cash flow cycle much more faster due to this facility, TASIS. This is a bill discounting facility.
So how does it work, sir, exactly?
So there is a TASIS platform. So all the your big companies, government companies, they are already this registered there. And as per the earlier guideline, there were guideline for even private companies who are having turnover of 250 CR or more. So they were also compulsorily required to be registered under this platform. So the idea is to enable the vendors and suppliers of those companies. And the role of these particular companies is very simple. They have to just confirm that they owe this amount of money. Rest, your funder, your participating bank or some other NBFC will take care of. So you have to only confirm as a debtor that this much money you own, and based on this, someone will finance your creditor, means your supplier or your vendor or your any other.
And what is the rate of interest typically for this kind of lending?
The typical rate of interest depends on case to case basis because there are certain factors. Because normally both parties are evaluated on this criteria, because there is also factor involved of the debtor and there is also factor involved of the creditor. So based on your risk criteria, so typical rate of interest you can consider 8 to 9%. It may be higher also in some cases if your risk criteria is more, considering that means, so for example, if your CIBIL score is not matching to the target criteria, so naturally some more interest you need to pay. So it based on your risk assessment criteria of your debtor and creditor both.
So जो future payments हमारे आने हैं किसी एक MSME के अपने डेटर से आने हैं, उन फ्यूचर पेमेंट्स के बेसिस पे ये लेंडिंग हो रही है बैंक के थ्रू.
Exactly.
Receivable.
But point is that you are receiving your future money now, so that is giving the great help to your cash flow. You can make more production, you can make more services, so your cash flow cycle becomes faster.
Although it comes
So
at a
basically
cost.
we call it cash to cash cycle. Normally whenever we evaluate, so we evaluate as a cash to cash cycle. So the moment you put money in a business and the moment you take money from the business. So your cash to cash cycle becomes shorter.
But does it not increase the cost of doing business for you? Because वो जो पैसा आप recover कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे ultimately, that is also coming at a cost of, let us say, 8 to 9%.
So excellent question. Always, very few people understand cost of money is not so important as cost of time. So I think businessmen understand this. Cost of time is more important than cost of money.
इसमें सर जैसे सप्लाई चेन स्पेसिफिक जो लेंडिंग होती है वो बैंक्स करती हैं आसानी से या देयर इज स्पेसिफिक अदर मे बी इनोवेटिव फाइनेंसिंग मॉडल अवेलेबल?
With traces you're talking?
हाँ, मतलब इन जनरल जो है एमएसएमईज के लिए जो अगर किसी सप्लाई चेन किसी का जो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल सप्लाई चेन में उसको पैसा एकदम से चाहिए और 2 महीने का लीड टाइम है। 2 महीने के लिए ही कभी-कभी टाइम डिपेंडेंट पैसा चाहिए होता है।
So actually reverse financing is also available under this model because for example you are a supplier and your debtor is confirming, so you can also talk to the lender because that is a very specific case. But yes, many lenders are providing this kind of facility. So for example, in case of export, even your packing credit is available. And yesterday I was with the bankers. Can you believe he was talking 7.5%. Cost of funding was 7.5% for packing credit for exporters, and 3% this is some grant you will also get. So the effective cost will come to you as a exporter 4.5% by way of your packing credit. So these kind of different kind of options considering the nature of your product, the nature of market you are getting to. So those are available.
एक सर जैसे फाइनेंसिंग रिस्क की भी बात कर लेते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे हम लोग क्लाइमेट इश्यूज पे बात करते हैं। कोई एमएसएमई चल रही है, फ्लड आ गया, देयर आर लेट्स से फोर्स मेजेयर इश्यूज हो गए। तो इंश्योरेंस मान लीजिए उसमें केस में नहीं है, लेकिन फाइनेंसिंग में इवन इफ यू हैव अ स्मार्ट कैश फ्लो, बैलेंस शीट अब बहुत अच्छी है, फिर भी अगर इस इशू आ गए तो फिर इज देयर एनी स्पेसिफिक सपोर्ट फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट इस तरह के केसेस में या कुछ और तरीका है इसको चीज़ों को मिटिगेट करने के लिए?
नहीं देखिए, if lender finance is there, so under all probabilities lender will get your assets under lending insured.
तो एंड एसेट्स तो खराब हो गई, डूब गई पानी में।
No, but lender will ensure that it are insured. So then insurance company will pay na. So if it is under the lending portfolio, so lender will make sure that it is insured. Only then he will make a extended lending or credit limit. So that is a part of general process. So in that particular kind of probability, even if you have taken home loan, lenders insist कि साहब ये इतनी LIC की पॉलिसी ले लीजिए आप, कल को आप कम से कम उतना तो पार्ट जो है आपका जो है वो कवर हो जाए हमारे लिए इसमें. So now lenders are very smart. So they make their product in a way that whatever risk is there by any means that is covered. But yes, if lender funding is not there, so yes, you have touched upon a very, very important area, and I think government is also very well aware of, and that is the reason that in this budget the government has opened and extended the limit of FDI in insurance to the extent of 100%, because awareness of our people in India towards insurance is still very low. If we compare the global benchmarking, I think we will come hardly 15 to 20% penetration and awareness in many products. So from that perspective, so for example, you take your home insurance लिया आपने?
नहीं लिया।
आपने home insurance लिया? Now you are two educated guys. Your home insurance premium, believe me, I think कम से कम अब इस पॉडकास्ट का इतना तो फ़ायदा होना चाहिए कि आप जाके जब अपने किसी भी इंश्योरेंस वाले को पकड़िए और उससे कहिए कि भाई साहब ये मेरी टोटल एसेट्स है, एंड यू विल, पहले तो आपको बड़ा सरप्राइज लगेगा, प्रीमियम इज़ नेग्लिजिबल प्रीमियम. सो पॉइंट इज़ कि जो एक मेरा होम इंश्योरेंस है जहाँ पे मैंने पूरे घर की एसेट कोई जो मैं, अच्छा, नॉट ओनली दिस इंश्योरेंस इज फॉर कॉन्टेंट्स. नाउ व्हाट अबाउट द अदर पार्ट? People has not taken insurance. I think you are aware of this particular area in seismic zone. I think it is 4 or 5. It is on high seismic zone. अब 4-5 हो सकता है कैटेगरी थोड़ा सा वो हो उसमें, बट ये मुझे पता है कि हाई सिस्मिक जोन में जो हमारा दिल्ली एनसीआर का एरिया है. तो जस्ट इमेजिन कि योर प्रॉपर्टी इफ समथिंग हैपन्स इन डिफरेंट वे, सो व्हाट रिस्क यू आर कैरिंग. Our construction cost is also very, very high in nowadays. So as far as insurance is concerned, I think this is a highly basically area which is where the people are not much aware of, and that need to be seriously addressed, whether it is a personal insurance, your professional insurance, your business insurance. So yes, as far as your question is concerned, yes, lot of things has to be done in this.
Let's say in some of the occurrences जहाँ पे इंश्योरेंस उन सब occurrences को में एक्सक्लूड कर देता है, नहीं कवर करता है अपने इंश्योरेंस में, उसमें फाइनेंशियल लेंडिंग का रिस्क रहता है. तो उस रिस्क के लिए जो रिसीवर है उसके लिए कुछ सपोर्ट अवेलेबल रहता है.
नो, लैंडिंग के लिए जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि लैंडर तो मौका आपको देगा नहीं ना. लैंडर तो अपनी जो भी एसेट्स है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वो तो उसका इंश्योरेंस कराएगा आपका. तो लैंडर का तो रिस्क है ही नहीं उसमें. तो जो भी आपका लैंडिंग में एसेट्स है, इवन यू एज एन इंडिविजुअल, इफ यू आर टेकिंग होम लोन, द लैंडर विल गेट योर लाइफ इंश्योरेंस टू दैट एक्सटेंट यू हैव टेकन द लोन. तो वो तो
लेंडर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आती है कि इंश्योरेंस करा ले किसी तरीके.
एंड इन मैनी टाइम्स द लैंडर क्या करता है कि वो आपका, अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा रिलेक्टेंट हैं, तो वो अपफ्रंट जो प्रीमियम है उसी में से कुछ पैसा जो है वो एडजस्ट कर लेगा. कहता है ठीक है जी, आपका इतना जो है टर्म इंश्योरेंस का जो अमाउंट है हम वो एडजस्ट कर लेंगे कहीं. बट कहीं ना कहीं वो जो है उस चीज़ को जो है वो एडजस्ट कर लेंगे उसमें.
इसमें सर, कमिंग बैक टू अगेन द क्वेश्चन ऑफ लेट अस से वेंचर फंडिंग, डू यू थिंक MSMEs आर एन अट्रैक्टिव स्पेस फॉर VC and PE firms to invest?
नहीं, पहले तो थोड़ा सा हमको MSME का एक कैटेगराइजेशन करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज every business institution come into the MSME category, whether you are a very minuscule organization like micro, small, medium, any. So you have to bifurcate it into two categories. One are in the category which have the high growth capacity and which has the normal growth capacity. So the businesses of MSMEs which has the high growth capacity, that are the attractive areas for venture capital fund, because typically you can take either seed capital investor, your angel investor, your venture capital investor, or private equity investor. Typically they take a growth of your business as a key parameter. So if your business has the potential of offering a high growth, so definitely they will take some exposure, and if not, so basically this is a purely baniya kind of business. If your business has good potential, they will come on handy, otherwise sorry.
इसमें सर, व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द इमर्जिंग सेक्टर्स इन द MSME स्पेस आपको लगता है जहाँ पे वी एक्सपेक्ट अ लॉट ऑफ लेट अस से ग्रोथ इन द कमिंग इयर्स? ऐसे कुछ सेक्टर्स आइडेंटिफाइड हैं या आपके रडार पे हैं?
हाँ, अभी रिसेंटली द वन सेक्टर विच इज ग्रोइंग वेरी फास्ट इज द डॉन एरिया. माइंड बॉगलिंग. So the down area companies which are focusing on certain niche area, so they are growing very fast. And other area are the deep tech companies which are offering technology as a disruption. So those areas also offering very good growth. And then clean tech companies also. So they are also having a good, say for example, some companies are offering solution. So even so for example, I can share the example of the one company who he's made the software for lithium batteries. Because what is happening in lithium batteries, your risk is very high, because due to explosion, the rate of explosion in lithium batteries very high. I think very few people understand this, because this is quite a technical subject. So this company is making software to manage the lithium, optimizing the capacity of the lithium battery, number one. And secondly, minimizing the risk of the explosion of the lithium battery. So naturally, such kind of innovation and niche areas which these companies are adopting. So these companies are having very high growth area. The other area, for example, waste recycling. So I know one company which is extracting this waste from your batteries, because your battery discarded batteries has certain precious materials. So what this company is doing, normally it is very difficult to discard your electronic waste. So now this company has taken this as an opportunity, and there is a certain precious material associated in various electronic equipments and waste. So they are extracting precious material from electronic waste and
तो इस तरह की किसी कंपनी में सर आपने ऐसा कोई पर्सनल इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है?
I have evaluated because, and that is the reason that so I am glad to share that I am part of Jito Investment and Incubation Foundation. So this particular foundation has invested more than 250 CR and funded 100 more than 100 startups. So I am very fair. I am not invested as an investor, but yes, I have evaluated many startups which are in a very, very good growth trajectory, and some cases studies which I shared is from this portfolio only. So I invested in different, as far as me, if your question to me as an investor, so I believe more on the, mix of the conventional and some kind of modern investing in primarily on mutual fund. Because for me, as an investor, I need my money handy. So everyone has his own investment philosophy. So for me, return on capital is important, but return of capital is more important. So I believe seriously to this philosophy. For me, return of capital is most important for me. Because everyone has his own philosophy. I have my own philosophy. So I invest more on mutual funds, in public provident funds, and some other ETFs and some other related schemes, where I see that money is very handy. Money is demandable. Money is readily available on demand. If I raise demand now, I will get money in T plus 2 days. So as of now, I have invested in this kind
These are
of
secure investments.
secure, more of the secure. It's not only secure, means mutual funds are not 100% secured. There are a lot of analysis also related in mutual fund, some different thematic kind of mutual fund, your sector based mutual fund, some scale based mutual funds. So in mutual fund investing is also not very easy and to
So आपके हिसाब से सर, what is the rate of return is a good rate of return?
in which category?
किसी भी कैटेगरी में बता दीजिए.
No, actually, let's start from the investment in the high growth areas, which we just now, for example,
Technology
started the
area.
point. Technology area, high growth emerging areas, some where you can foresee good growth. So what happens is that if you invest as an investor in these particular companies, not all companies will give you your money back. So that is the reason I don't invest. So some will give you money back with good return, and some will not give money at all, and some will give mixed kind of thing, some part this, some there. So, but on an average, you can get, if you have a good investor and make a diverse investment, so you can expect at least 20-30% return. But yes, some exceptions are also there. So I think you are aware of Infosys, Info Agent investment in Zomato. So it is multi times, not comparable. So some exceptions are there, but those are exceptions. Those cannot be taken as a benchmark. So as far benchmark is concerned, yes, 20, 25%, 30% return. These are the optimum return you can expect in this particular thing. Now, the area where I invest, for example, in mutual fund, typically 15 to 20% very easily without losing your sleep, you can generate this kind of return. The only thing you have to give is some time at the time of investment, some study, and keep on some kind of monitoring, very minuscule kind of monitoring. Because if you are investing in a mutual fund, then lot of information will come automatically on the way. So you can decide your own action plan to do this. So 15 to 20% in this particular area, but this is without doing any kind of thing. And second part is money is readily available. In this 25 to 30%, money is not readily available. You have to wait till the time your money come to the maturity cycle. Only then you can take money back.
And what is
You
apart from the liquidity, what is more maybe I think exciting investment between, let's say, the real estate versus the stock?
Now again, diversification is a key. So both are indispensable, because if you talk about the investment, you need to invest in real estate also, in stock also, in gold also, and some other area also, even some silver also, some other metal also, some ETF also. So you have to make a balance portfolio, some public provident fund also, some your fixed deposit also, some liquid fund also. So you have to make a complete, matrix of your investment, because you have to keep your diversification going to make the minimization of your risk.
Great. You have any question, Dhruv?
I think, sir, I think financial wisdom is something that people can definitely learn from experts like you. Of late, I think it has been said कि जो आज की generation है, they save less, they spend more, and maybe you will have seen that through your time as well. So, what is maybe one piece of advice you have for people if they want to have that financial freedom early on in their life?
Yeah, so I think now this generation is revisiting this idea, because primarily this idea is borrowed more of the Western world. Ki spend more, save less. So, but now I think that our generation is realizing that this is not true. Spend more or save less. You have to make a rightful balance. If you save more initially, you will be able to spend more. And if you have to spend more initially, then you need not have any option to spend more later on. As simple as that. So if you want to have a spend more option for a sustainable, period, for longer period, so saving is not an option. It is definitely a compulsion. Because by saving, even now the generation I am seeing it, and I am very happy that many young guy earlier which were having this philosophy, spend more, and saving has no criteria, no value. Now they are learning the lesson. They are learning lesson, because saving is your strength. Because money is laying with you. For example, option of spending always with you. Say option of saving is not always with you, because once you spend the money, it is gone. But once you have saved the money, spending of money will always remain. Number one. Number two, if you are wise enough, so I'm sure as an investor, you will invest in an instrument which will beat the growth of your investment in terms of inflation. So if you compare your capacity of spending, so the more and more you will save, the more and more capacity of spending will grow on. So even if you are having the spending mindset, I think boss, no problem. Save first, spend later. Because by following this policy, you will be able to spend more.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much, sir. So we have a rapid fire round also. So very interesting round. तो अगर फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू हैव टू गिव द रिस्पांस इन वन वर्ड, एक शब्द में ही आपको रिस्पॉन्ड करना है, तो अगर इंडिया पर्सपेक्टिव में एमएसएमई का स्टेटस बताना हो, तो व्हाट कुड बी दैट वर्ड एज पर यू?
Or how MSME can grow.
एमएसएमई स्टेटस मतलब अभी आज के टाइम में एमएसएमई अच्छा कर रहा है, मॉडरेट अच्छा कर रहा है, इस तरह से कुछ भी?
No, as far as their performance concerned, so no doubt MSMEs are doing the fantastic work. They are contributing. I already shared some statistic in the beginning of the conversation. But if you ask me one word, what is the bottleneck to go from MSME to the next level? So it is only one word: mindset. That's it. So you will be surprised. In many my sessions, I talk to my audience. बस सोचने का पैसा नहीं जाता, कम से कम सोच तो लो. People is not, ready to think big. वो सोचने से डरते हैं इसमें. So I think that is a main bottleneck to the growth of our MSME. So if they are able to change their mindset, and that is the reason I brought this framework, MSME. Don't think like MSME, irrespective of your size, irrespective of your stage. You can think like MNCs because there are many MNCs. If you compare, there are many MSMEs which are way ahead in terms of turnover than MNCs. MNCs are not having so much turnover, but they are MNCs. So your turnover is not a criteria, but your profitability is, your geographical presence is.
So one business book that you would recommend every business owner to read?
So I am a big fan of Tata because the way they built their businesses. Even yes, in $1 trillion club, I don't think that how much are aware of that we have so many billionaire companies in our country, unicorn, and across the globe. But in $1 trillion club, I think there are only 5 companies which are in the $1 trillion club. So even Tata is not in a $1 trillion club. But for me, Tata is something which is beyond any financial number because Tata is a name of trust. So the way they build their institution. So in my this book also, I have taken the first case study of the Tata Group, that how by investing meager 13,000 in 1869, they have built up to the capital market capitalization of more than 35 lakh crores as on date. So to my mind, Jamshedji Tata is a person. I think everyone should, if is doing any business, so he should learn his, mindset, the way he was thinking about our country, the way he was thinking to build the businesses. So recently, I also, when I came to know that some book is available on Jamshedji Tata, and it is, I think, written by Gopala Krishnan, again, a very senior professional associated with Tata Group. So I think that is one book, on Jamshedji Tata. So one should write. So, but since you write one book and I cannot, share my temptation, there is other person also, to which I am fascinated. So that is a Vikram Sarabhai, because that is a perfect combination of business and technology. So I think one should also read a book on Vikram Sarabhai because he is a person who has changed the complete landscape of technology of our country, and ISRO is an example. So I think these 2 books, whether you are in a business or you are in another area, you are academician, you are even a journal person, these 2 books one should learn, because Jamshedji Tata book is more than a business. The book on this Sarabhai, or history of the Sarabhai, is more than their technology, because the way they have developed this all kind of resources in initial days. I think that is a inspiration for each and every person, the way our common man struggles in everyday life. So they understand and learn these learnings from these personalities.
सर कोई गवर्नमेंट स्कीम आपके हिसाब से है which has given, maybe I think, which has given the maximum benefit to MSMEs?
गवर्नमेंट
स्कीम, कोई ऐसी गवर्नमेंट स्कीम जिसका यूटिलाइजेशन सबसे ज्यादा MSME सेक्टर ने किया हो?
No, one is the traces. Now the MSMEs are utilizing this scheme because that is readily available. Now one other scheme which is growing very fast among MSMEs, that is a GEM, Government Enabled Marketplace. So again, the many MSMEs are getting registered, and as part of government policy, certain businesses, all government companies or other registered companies need to do with MSME companies. So now they are also getting benefit on this portal, GEM portal. So, and this is are very easy to get registered and easy to participate. So apart from these 2, there are a lot of other companies, CGT, MSME, I also shared with you. Even the banks are coming for some innovative schemes. So for example, yesterday one banker was sharing with me GST turnover basis scheme, no paperwork. 25% of your GST turnover, he will sign a check straight away. Very, minimum compliance. So now that is a very good scheme. So for example, if you have turnover, no collateral, no collateral. If naturally if size will be more, so definitely देखिए बैंक तो थोड़ा सा वो रिस्क असेसमेंट करेगा आपसे, तो थोड़ा बहुत वो कोलेटरल मांग सकता है, बट अंडर नॉर्मल थिंग अगर आपकी बैंकिंग रेगुलर चल रही है तो उसमें व्हाट बैंक डज कि दैट दे पुट ए क्रेडिट लाइंस. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वट एवर यूटिलाइजेशन you will make in a discipline way, number one. Number two, bank put a embargo on a monthly basis. Your monthly limit will go down in the approved period. For example, 3 years is the period. In 36 months, it will systematically go down. So bank has divided product in such a way that they have minimized their risk. But that is a wonderful scheme because readily it is available to MSME. Even I was not requiring my money, but my banker invested. कि सर ले लो, मुझे भी लेना पड़ा ज़बरदस्ती में. In the with the intention of improving my or creating my credit history, because that is also other part of business that if you don't take your loan or any credit, then your credit history is not created. So if you want to be big, so at least to start something, taking some credit and have some good credit history, so that you can target.
If you want to become big, you need to borrow money.
Yeah.
मतलब हिस्ट्री अगर अच्छी क्रिएट करनी है तो बोरोइंग जरूरी है.
एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन मेरी तरफ से, सर एज एन इन्वेस्टर, सो यू मेंशनड यू आर पार्ट ऑफ जीतो एंड यू आर आल्सो इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू कंपनीज. सो व्हाट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू व्हेन यू इवैल्यूएट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस between the two, innovation or execution?
No, both are not most important. Okay. The most important part of any such kind of investing is the founder. Founder is the most important part of such kind of investment because these are the riskier investment. Maybe it is a fantastic innovation, maybe it is a fantastic execution you can envisage or visualize. But if founder is not to that level, you cannot sustain your growth. So founder is a key. So for me, it is a founder.
So what is the sustainable habit that you have adopted for yourself recently?
Personal. So first of all, some habits, if you don't mind, are coming to me by virtue of our religion also. Although this has become more of the science. It's not like a religion kind of thing. I am Jain, I am saying. Even science is saying. So for example, science says कि भाई थोड़ा जल्दी खा लो. So naturally, I am trying that at least I can have my dinner as early as possible or avoid heavy meals at the night. So this kind of habit I am trying to inculcate, not as a religious ritual, but with the scientific mind. Yes, as a person, and it makes a lot of difference. I am seeing, I have started observing the impact that if you eat early and avoid a heavy meal in night, it really impacts your whole system. So that is first habit which I am trying to inculcate. And the second habit is that if you go early to your sleep and try to go early in the morning, although I'm very fair, I am failed to adopt it because as a professional, at times even I have to work till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and sometimes I wake up very late in the morning. So I'm very fair. So I am not very sustainable adopter in this kind of habit, but yes, aspire a lot that to make a sustainable living. These two things are very important, that to take your meal as early as possible in the evening, number one. Number two, go on the sleep early and wake up in the morning early. If you make these habits only, so I think lot of changes you can make in your life.
So last question, sir. So what is the pricey possession that you have? The most pricey possession you have? Maybe I think the बहुत ज़्यादा सबसे महंगी कार है या घर है या म्यूचुअल फंड है?
In terms of this monetary terms?
Monetary terms, हाँ, pricey possession monetary terms में?
Monetary terms, yes, I have one home, but that is subject to insolvency. So still I am struggling to get the rightful possession. So I'm not very sure whether I can value or not, but yes, in terms of value, it is the biggest asset for me, because you are aware of that for anyone life, the person make a biggest investment in its own home, but unfortunately that is under insolvency. So, but anyhow, that is a part of life.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. I think it's a great discussion. A lot of learnings, certainly on the real estate, MSMEs, and the maybe I think wisdom for the personal level investing also that you have shared with us. And thank you, Dhruv, for asking so many, I think, specific and valuable questions. Thank you, all of you, for the patience listening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Namaskar.
Anurag. Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you so much. Thank you.